Welcome back to County Cricket Weekly on the Cricket District Network. We're here to recap the most entertaining round of Championship cricket so far.
Yeah, the most entertaining week and a busy one as well, with every single team playing. So plenty of action, 9 games for you to catch up on. We've also mixed things up this week in ordering the show in the games that we think were the best and we enjoyed the most. And we've also added chapters if you're watching this on YouTube. So if you don't have 40 minutes to enjoy the show, you can skip through and just catch up on your team's highlights.
That's right, let's get stuck into the action. Championship leaders Surrey welcomed Worcestershire at the Kia Oval, looking to make it 4 wins on the bounce. The visitors elected to bowl first after winning the toss and immediately had Surrey under pressure. 4 early wickets from the bowling of Nathan Smith and Joe Leach had the hosts struggling at 15 for 4. This brought Dan Lawrence to the crease to join his England colleague Ollie Pope. The duo counter-attacked their way to a 148-run partnership, wrestling back their side's momentum in this game. However, once Pope fell for 63, snicking off to Smith, the wickets started to tumble again. 8 balls later and Lawrence was making his way back to the pavilion, edging an expansive drive off the bowling of Matthew Waite. The hosts proceeded to lose their final 4 wickets for just 50 runs, being bowled out for 213, Jordan Clark stranded on 42 not out.
At this stage, Worcestershire would have been feeling positive about their chances of making a first innings lead and pushing for a big upset win. However, the Surrey bowling attack had different ideas. Led by 6 for 22 from the superb Dan Worrell, the visitors were dismantled for just 128, giving the hosts a lead of 85, something which would have been inconceivable an hour into this game.
The strong Surrey reaction didn't stop there. Their batters had no such issues with the new ball in this innings. 70 from skipper Rory Burns and 72 from Jamie Smith took their lead past 300. Smith's off-stump was then flattened by Ben Gibbon, leaving the reins to be picked up by Lawrence. The former Essex man picked up where he left off in the first innings, registering his second half century of the game. Jordan Clark rubbed further salt into the Worcestershire wounds, slamming 98. Debutant and Saka graduate Yadvinder Singh grabbed the last wicket of the Surrey innings to claim figures of 4 for 103, a small silver lining for the visitors as they stared down the barrel of a 512 run chase.
It was more of the same for Worcestershire in the second innings. Dan Worrell was too hot to handle once again. The Aussie removed 4 of the top 5 to pick up the third 10-wicket haul in a match of his first-class career. The visitors' lower order fought valiantly, despite any other result besides a defeat being on the cards. Smith and Gibbon both threw caution to the wind, smashing quicker than runnable 50s. But it was left to Surrey's 2 best players in this game to wrap up the result. Gibbon miscuing a reverse sweep off Lawrence to find Worrell in the deep. Make that 4 wins in a row for the reigning champions.
Right, another win for Surrey. I know everyone wants to talk about Surrey and how they're dominating this year's county championship, but I want to talk about one player, Joe Leach, Worcestershire legend. Looking at his stats here, 464 first-class wickets for him, 4th top wicket taker in Division 2 last year, and he's proving he can do it in Division 1. But my favourite thing about Joe Leach is his baggy green. David Warner, you've got nothing on Joe Leach. The baggy green of Worcestershire looks like it's been sliced in half, but he still wears it. Proper legend. Also, you know, Mitchell Marsh thinks he's the bison. From what I've been reading, Worcestershire have been calling this guy a bison for years. So he's been tearing through batting lineups. Proper county cricket legend for years.
He makes the ball talk too.
He does
all sorts. And
yeah.
I think I always relate kind of watching the game to our games on a Saturday and what we do. And there's always that one experienced player who just does everything with the ball. And I feel like he's that player for everybody in the county championship.
Yeah. All right. County cricket rant over.
Yeah.
Badger rant over. Let's talk about Surrey, Jack. Yeah. I mean, they just look unbelievable. 18 points clear at the top. Undefeated. Dominant. Can anyone beat them?
I mean, they were 15 for 4. And to come back from there and to still win the game is remarkable. Dan Lawrence's best performance with the bat so far, an 84 and an 87. And Jordan Clark, 40, I think it was 42 and 98 in the match.
Yeah.
Like, their lower order can still do it with the bat. It doesn't matter if their top order don't go through with it. Their bottom order just continue.
Yeah, incredibly strong. I mean, what a signing Dan Lawrence has been for them. I think their only signing over the winter. For the county championship at least. And then Jordan Clark is just performing at the top of his game right now, with bat and ball. Really impressive player.
I think I never really kind of think about Jordan Clark with the bat either. Just kind of just goes under the radar and just obviously he's a great bowler, but under the radar with his batting and continues to show why he's a great player.
And to have him coming in at 7 as well is just like their bowling attack. You know, if one of them doesn't get you, the rest
someone else will. Yeah.
But fair play Surrey, they're absolutely dominating. Let's wait and see if anyone can topple them.
Definitely. And did you spot the Nathan Smith bail swap? I don't know if you saw it.
No.
So Pope was batting, snicks him off, dropped in the slips. Fuming, Nathan Smith walks back to his mark, swaps the bails over, next ball, snicks off and gets him.
How good.
So it just keeps working. I love it.
Good.
It's great.
And I feel like we'll only ever see the moments that it does work, but yeah.
I wonder how many takes there are with it not working.
I know.
That would be nice to see.
To have the composure, though, to have a drop catch off your bowling against England's number 3 and then walk back and just calmly switch the bails and take a wicket.
Yeah, it's impressive. Right, should we head to the next game?
Let's move on then, closer to home for us in Sussex. They took on Yorkshire at Hove in a brilliant match. 17 wickets fell on day one of this Division 2 clash between promotion hopeful Sussex and Yorkshire. The visitors won the toss and elected to make first use of the new ball on a green-looking Hove wicket. Despite a flurry of early boundaries from Tom Clark and Tom Haynes, the Yorkshire decision appeared to be the right one. Ben Code made the breakthrough, finding the outside edge of Clark to find Joe Root in the slips. The nick-offs continued throughout the innings, with 7 more Sussex batters being caught behind. Youngster George Hill was the pick of the bowlers, taking 4 for 22, alongside Code, who went on to claim figures of 3 for 37. Sussex all out for a disappointing 150.
The visitors would have been hoping to take full advantage of their impressive bowling performance. However, their openers were quickly dismissed by Sean Hunt, with the score at 31 for 2. It was left to Joe Root to stabilise the Yorkshire reply. Wickets continued to fall as the former England captain ticked past 50 in trademark fashion. When Root was adjudged LBW for 67 off the bowling of Haynes, the visitors' chances of recording a big first innings lead were fading fast. It was left to Hunt and Ollie Robinson to wrap up the Yorkshire tale for 195 and a lead of 45 runs.
No sooner as the momentum of this game looked to be swinging back towards Sussex, 2 early wickets had the hosts 6 for 2 and Yorkshire back in control. A battling 86 off 256 balls from Tom Alsop steadied the innings and brought the home side back into the game. It didn't prevent wickets from falling at the other end though, and Robinson was comprehensively bowled by Hill. The Sussex lead stood at 181 runs.
Yorkshire required 182 runs to win and Sussex needed 10 wickets with 5 sessions of the game left to play. What would follow in the next 57 overs was county championship cricket at its finest. A rush of early wickets, including the big scalps of Shan Masood and Root, had Sussex on top at 76 for 5. Experienced opener Adam Lyth dug in for the visitors. His knock of 73 was the only Yorkshire contribution over 20 in this innings. However, it gave them a strong chance of victory in the match. Lyth was dismissed by a perfect bouncer from Ollie Robinson, with his side 24 runs short of the target. Robinson then took 2 further wickets in his next over, and it was left to Fynn Hudson-Prentice to run out Code with this sharp piece of fielding to win the game. Jubilant celebrations followed from the home side as they snuck home in this epic contest, and we spoke to Fynn Hudson-Prentice earlier today.
Fynn Hudson-Prentice, thank you for joining us on County Cricket Weekly, mate. I've got to ask you, a diving, direct hit run out to win a massive game for your county in front of a huge home crowd at Hove. How good does that feel?
Yeah, it was obviously brilliant. You can't really put that feeling into words, really. It was you sort of just get lost in the moment a little bit. I know we knew that they were going to try and take a single that ball with Revis on strike, so everyone was sort of like getting tight. And I was actually probably a little bit too deep because it should have been a bit easier than it was. But no, it was brilliant, and obviously against a strong Yorkshire side to get over the line was great.
Watching that video back, it is absolute pandemonium. You've got players running left, right and centre, trying to celebrate with Ollie, celebrate with you. I think Pajara ran from deep square leg over to you at points. Talk me through the emotions of that moment.
Yeah, like I said, it's so hard to put into words what that feeling is like. Winning a tight game. There's no better feeling, really. It was funny, just the moment got you see a few aeroplanes on the screen coming across. I think Hainsey just puts his arms out and wheels away. But yeah, you can't put it into words really. You just sort of lose yourself, and just turning around and seeing everyone like jumping around you is pretty special.
When you get a moment to calm down and sit in the dressing room with the guys, what was the overriding emotion and what was the, I guess, post-match team talk like? Obviously, you guys drew quite a few games last year, but you've turned those draws into wins in this season. What's gone right for you guys? What have you changed? And I guess, what are the characters in the dressing room saying to keep you guys on this amazing streak? Yeah,
I think experience helps. I think obviously John Simpson coming in from Middlesex, he's been massive for us, and he's coming and captained really well. Danny Lamb coming from Lancashire, he's got a great attitude, tries his heart out. And then just a few of the lads in our team now who've played a lot of games of cricket, and we've been in situations last year that we put ourselves in winning positions. And I think now, having won a couple, 2 or 3 games last year, people are starting to understand what it takes to get over the line. Which then means this year we're able to sort of put those positions to bed. I think last year we had a lot of winning positions that we didn't sort of get over the line or were very close games or draws in the end. And this year, I think we've managed to sort of push that over the line. Obviously, this game is very different to the ones that we've played in previously. I haven't seen a wicket at Hove do as much as it did this week since I've been back at the club for sure. So, yeah, I think the overall team talk was very positive. I think the lads are obviously very happy. It could have been a pretty bleak change room if things didn't go our way, especially because it was inside 3 days as well. So, I mean, we lost in 3 days at Glamorgan. We won in 3 days at Derbyshire, and then we just got over the line against Yorkshire in 3 days. So it's been entertaining, but I think the lads are the general sense is just keep going now. Got a good bit of momentum first half of the season, and not to sort of slip up and relax. Like just keep putting in good performances and keep working hard in the nets.
No, that's brilliant. It's clearly paying off. My final question for you has got to be, if you told 16-year-old Fynn Hudson-Prentice that he was playing county cricket at Hove alongside Cheteshwar Pujara and playing against Joe Root, would you have believed him?
No, I don't think so. It's incredible. Even Sean Masood out there as well. Jaden Seals coming and playing for us, playing alongside Ollie Robinson. It's just special. It's great to be able to sort of share the pitch with those names, and obviously when you're playing these games, you're on a level playing field as well, which makes it even better. So I think, I wouldn't have believed you. It's just, it's incredibly special, and hopefully many more years of it to come.
Fantastic, Fynn. Thanks for joining us on County Cricket Weekly. Good luck for the rest of the season.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Fantastic to hear from Fynn Hudson-Prentice there. Congratulations, Sussex, on the win. Absolute scenes with that final run out.
Yeah, it's so great to hear from him, and it's really nice to hear how much it meant to the players and how much they enjoyed it, and those celebrations were evident of that. Limbs, I think it's the only way to describe it. Aeroplanes going everywhere, hats flying about. So really nice to see.
Yeah, absolute scenes. And for players like Fynn Hudson-Prentice, Allsop, Haynes, Carson, all those guys who have come up through the Sussex system, to be playing in front of a big crowd at Hove and win a game against a massive county like Yorkshire in dramatic scenes like that, it doesn't get much better.
Yeah.
Talking of Yorkshire though, Sussex top of Division 2, other end of the spectrum, Yorkshire second from bottom. Yeah,
I don't think anyone would have predicted that for them to be second bottom. Their team looks really strong, and players like Brooke and Root contributing this year. And second bottom is tough.
Let's talk about Sussex though. Ollie Robinson, how impressive was he?
He looked really good, almost back to his best, and the Ollie Robinson that we all would love to see play this summer for England. The ball he got live with was the only way to describe it as snorter. Really horrible. I don't think for a left-hander to get out of the way of that, it would have been tough. So really, really impressive. The pitch actually on the stream looked quite a lot greener than usual at Hove. So bowler-friendly conditions. I do wonder if that was something about the Yorkshire lineup. They thought, right, let's give this to Ollie Rob and hope he can do what he does, and he did really well.
They did. Massive win for Sussex. Moving on then, all eyes were on Blackpool as Lancashire took on Durham. Ben Stokes playing for Durham, Nathan Lyon playing for Lancashire. Should be a pretty epic contest. Durham won the toss and chose to bowl first on a wicket that proved to be pretty friendly for the batters. Lancashire would have been looking to settle any early nerves with a solid start from their experienced opening pair of Luke Wells and Keaton Jennings. That they did, registering 87 runs for the first wicket before Matty Potts picked up the first of his 3 wickets in the innings. Jennings wasn't so forgiving at the other end. The left-hander was in imperious form, hitting 17 fours on his way to the second 100 of the season in 137 balls. The hosts will be frustrated that they didn't turn their strong position of 213 for 3 into a more substantial score. They only added a further 144 runs for the last 7 wickets as they were bowled out for 357.
It was a similar story in reply for Durham. 128 for 2 and 100 from David Bedingham couldn't be capitalised on. The in-form Bedingham registered his 3rd century of the season with 8 fours and 2 towering sixes. Ben Stokes reignited an Ashes battle with Nathan Lyon on his county championship return and came off second best, edging to Tom Bruce at second slip. 50 runs later and Bedingham chopped on to his stumps off the bowling of Tom Aspinwall for 101. 4 more wickets and a maiden first-class fifer followed for the 20-year-old Lancastrian. Durham were bowled out for 236, trailing their hosts by 121 runs.
Jennings picked up where he left off in the first innings. The Lancashire skipper struck 20 boundaries to record his 2nd century of the game. He eventually fell to a great catch from Scott Borthwick off the bowling of Stokes for 155. Encouragingly for Durham and England fans, this was 1 wicket in a 5-wicket haul for the England Test skipper, who is currently working his way back to full fitness. Lancashire declared with the lead at 475 and in search of their first win of the season.
Durham made a bright start to a daunting chase. Alex Lees and Borthwick took the score to 83 for the first wicket before Aspinwall was in the act again, finding Lees' edge in subsequently the outstretched left hand of keeper Matthew Hurst. A couple more wickets followed, bringing Durham's key pair of Ollie Robinson and Beddingham to the crease. Much of Durham's recent success has been built off the back of the runs these two players have scored, and for a while on day 4 they gave their teammates a reason to believe they might win this game. Beddingham reached his second 100 of the match but was caught behind off Lyon soon after, breaking a 216 run partnership. Durham still looked likely to get close to the Lancashire target, but once Stokes and Graham Clark were removed, all hopes rested on Robinson. The keeper batter eventually ran out of partners, stranded on 171 not out and 60 runs short of the target. A valiant effort from the visitors, but it wasn't enough to stop Lancashire claiming their first win of the season. Earlier today, Toby caught up with Ollie Robinson to find out his thoughts on the game.
Ollie Robinson, thank you for joining us on County Cricket Weekly. Firstly, how are you? A pretty up and down game over at Blackpool. Can you sum up your emotions for us?
Yeah, it's a tough one to take really, because we've kind of played good cricket this year, but not at our best. And yeah, we didn't give ourselves the best chance this week really. We kind of didn't bowl great first day. We probably had the best of the bowling conditions, and then we had a batting collapse on day 2 and lost 5 for 20. So yeah, we're kind of always behind the 8 ball, I guess, going into that 3rd and 4th innings. But I think it shows the belief that we've got in the team that we could try and chase 470 on a day 4 pitch against a pretty good attack, a pretty good spinner. So yeah, it's up and down emotions, I guess, but yeah, we're kind of in a positive space still.
Yeah, obviously from a personal perspective, getting your highest first class score, and you mentioned belief there. Was there a moment where you were batting with David Beddingham where you thought, yeah, this is on, we've got this?
Yeah, and even after that as well, when Bedders got out, Stokes came in and he took a while to get off the mark, and then he switch hit a few and a slog swept one. I kind of thought he could literally go berserk here and it could be done by tea, but it wasn't to be. We kind of needed probably even 10-15 more minutes of just him batting, and that game could be done. But yeah, it's a shame. And even with Clarkey coming in and our lower order, I think everyone's got 100 there apart from Parkey. So yeah, we definitely believed all the way. And to fall short by 60 is kind of, it's a great effort, but you kind of, when you get that close, you feel like you should do it. But if you kind of said at the start of the day we're going to chase 475 at you, kind of like, that's a good effort that. But
yeah, unbelievable effort. We had it on the office, and we're like, yeah, they're going to do this. They look comfortable. I've got to ask, what's it like? You know, Ben Stokes comes into bat, Nathan Lyon's bowling. You thinking, hold on, I'm at the other end here of another Headingley, and it's at Blackpool.
Yeah, it's quite surreal actually. Obviously, having Stokes here around is brilliant. Obviously, got 5 for first innings, bowled really well. Second innings. Yeah, it was surreal. Kind of one of the greatest all-rounder probably ever, and probably the greatest off-spinner ever. And you've kind of got the best seat in the house. It's a pretty cool experience, really.
Brilliant. I'm glad to hear it. And I've got to ask, because we've had comments on our social media about you and about England and all of that kind of stuff. I've got to ask you, have you got aspirations to play Test cricket one day for England? Obviously, there's a lot of wicket-keeper batters out there scoring lots of runs and taking lots of catches. But your season so far, have you had any thoughts about it?
I think everyone's got aspirations to play. I think we're in the wrong sport and the wrong profession if you don't want to play for England. But yeah, I think it'd be brilliant to do that. And yeah, if it's this year, it's this year. If it's not, then it's not. I'm only 25, so I've still got time on my side, I guess. But yeah, I think it's kind of stay level with it and kind of just take it for what it is and keep doing good things for Durham and see what happens going forward.
Brilliant. Oh, well played this week. I'm so glad you're enjoying life up in Durham. Thanks for joining us on County Cricket Weekly. Really appreciate it.
No worries, mate. Thank you.
So another fantastic game of county cricket. Both teams gave it absolutely everything. Ollie Robinson obviously left stranded there. Disappointed for him, but what a score. What a performance from Durham. Lancashire, though, coming up trumps.
Yeah, it was nice to see. It was so nice to see Stokes back as well. I think a lot of England fans love to see the England captain in action in the County Championship, and I know the County Championship posted the highlights of his first innings, and it did look good, running in smoothly, getting brilliant shape on the ball, and a battle against Lyon as well, kind of brought back some of those Ashes memories.
Yeah, great. Also great to see county cricket being played at Blackpool, and two absolute stars of the game playing at County Outground.
Looked like a cool ground too. I saw some pictures, looked really nice.
Yeah, we should definitely visit. Player of the match though, Keaton Jennings, Lancashire captain, back-to-back hundreds, and he leads his team to their first victory of the season.
Yeah, 115 and 155, and he's just adding more and more reasons to why he should be maybe considered for that England role.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely pushing his case, isn't he, to get back in the England side. Difficult because there are so many players who are performing, particularly this round. We're going to struggle for our player of the round, but Keaton Jennings, he must be absolutely knackered. Back-to-back hundreds, and they win the game in quite, I guess, an emotional final session for them, because actually the way Robinson was going and the way Bellingham, there must have been doubts in the Lancashire captain's mind.
Definitely, and to continue and stay strong in that moment is it's impressive. I think Jennings is second in the leading run scorers in County Championship Division 1, and Bellingham is top. So a real battle between those two in the game, which was quite nice to see. Bellingham is averaging 86 this year. It's unbelievable. It's wild.
694 runs in the campaign. What an amazing player.
Yeah.
I think he was absolutely gutted when he got out as well, because him and Robinson, like we said, really looked set to go big, and that would have been an unbelievable chase, 475. Yeah. But in the end, hats off to Lancashire. Proper county grind, great game of cricket.
Definitely. And just before we move on, Ollie Robinson again, 170 not out. Is he in serious contention to play for England this summer?
He must be. It must be between him and Folkes, I think, a shootout for that position.
Yeah, I guess you got Folkes, maybe Smith, Bairstow maybe even comes into that conversation, but it's got to be one of them. But I'd love to see him.
He's doing everything he can. Doing everything he can. So great performance and great to chat to him earlier.
Just quickly as well, I wonder if Nathan Lyon's all right. He must be getting some deja vu with these close calls.
Yeah, I mean, a bit of experience for him. I mean, he must have been... I mean, looking at Stokes pull out the reverse sweep when he hit one for 1 bounce 4, he must have been like, oh, not again. No. Not again. I mean, reminiscent of scenes at Headingley, England chasing a massive score. But actually, he looked so calm and composed, and so important for Lancashire when they haven't won a game all season, to have someone who's been there and done it. Next up, we head to Sophia Gardens, where an unbeaten Glamorgan team take on an unbeaten Middlesex side. Will one of those records come to an end this week? Let's find out. Winning the toss and electing to bowl, Middlesex were greeted by Marnus Labuschagne, somewhat surprisingly opening the batting for the hosts. Glamorgan made the tricky decision to drop Mir Hamza to make way for the Australian international. The decision looked to have backfired when Labuschagne was removed for 23 by Tom Helm, and the other beneficiary of the decision, Colin Ingram, was bowled by Ethan Bamber for 10. No Glamorgan batter could get to grips with the Middlesex bowlers, and the hosts were ultimately bowled out for 183. Helm was the pick of the attack, finishing with figures of 4 for 44.
The Middlesex reply was anchored by a first century of the season from Mark Stoneman. Stoneman struck 19 boundaries to go with the 97 he scored against Glamorgan earlier this season. His efforts were backed up by 75 not out from Ryan Higgins, which had the away side sitting pretty at 297 for 4. A rush of wickets helped Glamorgan to restrict the Middlesex score to 343 all out, James Harris taking 4 for 84.
The Glamorgan coaching staff would have been desperate for Labuschagne and Ingram to prove them right in the second innings, and that they did. Labuschagne made his first 100 of the UK summer, stroking 17 fours on his way to 111. The Australian will be disappointed with the nature of his dismissal though, tamely chipping the ball to mid-wicket off the bowling of Luke Holman. Like Labuschagne, Ingram rewarded the faith of his coaches, making 105, taking his season's tally to 752 runs at a staggering average of 94 in the process. The pair's efforts were only enough to set Middlesex a target of 213 to win, as Glamorgan were bowled out for 372.
Much like their first innings, the Middlesex chase was anchored by more runs from the bat of Mark Stoneman. The former England opener hit 63 before he was caught behind off Andy Gorvin to give Glamorgan a glimmer of hope. When Mason Crane removed Holman for his 5th wicket of the innings, the result looked to be heading the hosts' way. However, the 52-run 9th wicket partnership from Helm and Jack Davies got the visitors over the line late on day 4, consolidating second place in Division 2 and handing Glamorgan their first defeat of the season.
So a massive win for Middlesex to take them to second in Division 2 and hand Glamorgan their first defeat of the season.
Yeah, it's impressive. Stoneman was impressive at the top of the order, runs in both innings. And I think we were discussing this in the office. Real game of two halves this. First innings, getting Labuschagne and Ingram early.
44 for 4.
That's ridiculous, and you'd be buzzing, but got to remember there's a second innings, and they came back strong.
They did. I mean, Glamorgan's selectors will be delighted that they rested Mir Hamza for this game. Obviously, Ingram and Labuschagne playing as they're overseas, and they delivered for them in the second innings. But ultimately, those hundreds weren't enough. Fair play, Middlesex chasing it down, and a big win for them.
Yeah, we spoke about it last week with Artif about who you rest out of those three. It's such a tricky decision, and Mir Hamza bowled very well last week at Sussex, so it was interesting to see him go.
Tricky one. Labuschagne flies over from Australia and you say, sorry mate. You're not getting a game. But scoring 100, great to see him back in county cricket. He loves playing for Glamorgan.
Yeah, I was looking and I loved seeing that Luke Holman got him out in the first innings, and that is a proper badger to badger. Luke Holman we interviewed for the Blast Day maybe 2 years ago.
Yeah.
His knowledge of county cricket is incredible, so I feel like he would have been all over that with.
I like the idea of those two sharing a beer after the game and just talking cricket for hours.
Yeah, I like the idea of that.
But massive win for Middlesex. Tom Helm as well, obviously taking big wickets in the first innings and then actually steering them to victory, remaining super calm, and only won by 2 wickets in the end, so a bit of a nervy one for them. But a big victory takes them to second in the championship table.
52-run partnership that was between Helm and Davies at the end to get them over the line. And I don't know if you've seen Helm's shot to get them over the line. It's pretty flamboyant. So it's nice to kind of see how confident he was at the crease to get his team.
And another big celebration as well. We mentioned it with Sussex, mentioned it now with Middlesex. It shows how much county cricket means to these guys. And it is, we say it all the time, it's a proper grind to get these results. You're playing 2 innings, often in hot weather, difficult conditions. You've got to really earn your result. And, Glamorgan batted brilliantly in that third innings. 370, you wouldn't expect to lose a game. But because Helm took those early wickets in the first innings, 4 for 44, it's difficult for a side to come back and win from that, and obviously they didn't quite get over the line. Let's move on then. Nottinghamshire, fresh off their first win of the season, took on Hampshire at Trent Bridge. The hosts got off to the worst possible start in this game. After being asked to bat first, Notts found themselves 0 for 2, with Ben Slater and Will Young falling to the pinpoint bowling of Mohammad Abbas. Last week's marathon man Hasib Hamid was caught behind on 20 to leave the score at 37 for 4. The Nottinghamshire innings would have been a lot worse off had it not been for the Herculean efforts of the talented all-rounder Lyndon James. Dropped on 23 and 32, James struck 10 fours on the way to 106 not out, lifting his side score to 235.
Hampshire's reply followed a similar pattern to that of the hosts' first innings. 5 wickets in the first 30 overs pegged the visitors back to 77 for 5 before a massive 6th wicket partnership between Liam Dawson and Keith Barker. An injury to Tom Prest meant both men were promoted up a place in the order, and they might not be demoted back down on the strength of this partnership. Dawson made 95 and Barker 74 as the pair combined for 157 runs. Barker hitting 3 massive sixes before he was clean bowled by a rapid Ollie Stone delivery. Stone finished with 4 wickets in this one as Dawson guided Hampshire to 276 and an important lead of 41.
Fresh off the back of his exploits with the bat, Barker had Hamid caught by James Vince to the second ball of the innings. Young, Slater and Tom Moores followed soon after, leaving the hosts effectively 3 for 4. 50s from Joe Clark and Jack Haynes steadied the Nottinghamshire ship, but the hosts could only muster a modest target of 169 to win for Hampshire.
With Tom Prest injured and unlikely to bat, Notts would only need 9 wickets to win this game. 5 wickets and 5 single-figure scores, including another catch of the season contender from Calvin Harrison, had the visitors teetering at 44 for 5. Fletcher Middleton and James Fuller put any nerves to rest with an unbeaten 127-run partnership to guide Hampshire to their first county championship win of the season.
Big win for Hampshire then, and a big performance from Keith Barker. Hampshire legend, I think, in his own right. Hampshire stalwart, certainly. Takes wickets, scoring valuable runs as well.
Definitely. Nice to see him back from injury. I think they've missed him these first couple of games.
Yeah.
Always there with the ball and the bat, and 3 big sixes too.
Absolutely smashing it. Man of the match performance from him. We love a good catch at Cricket District. Calvin Harrison, my word, he keeps doing it. Absolute screamer in the slips.
Yeah, ridiculous catch. One-handed screamer. Hang time as well in the slips. It was amazing to see. And now, did you see Stuart Broad's story?
I did, yeah.
I've actually written down what he said. He said, going to go as far as saying this guy was the best slip catcher I played with. Incredible. Swanee a close second. Collie excellent. Stokesy amazing. Calvin Harrison the best. I mean, that's some praise from Stuart Broad.
Yeah, fair play, Calvin Harrison. You've got to be a seriously good grabber to win Stuart Broad's best fielder or best catcher in the slips. Really impressive for him, but unfortunately catchers don't win matches.
Nope.
Hampshire win. Great performance from them. Fair play, Keith Barker. Brilliant performance from Hampshire, and that's a load of confidence from them. After a pretty slow, sluggish start to the season, they're on their way. Next up then, title chasers Essex took on Warwickshire, a side chasing their first win of the county championship season. Warwickshire won the toss and elected to bat first in this one. The innings was dominated by twin hundreds from Ed Barnard and Michael Burgess. This was after a shaky opening session where the Essex bowlers restricted the score to 76 for 5 at lunch. Coming to the crease at 104 for 6, Burgess and Barnard blunted the hosts' bowling, pushing the score past 300. A 209-run partnership was finally ended when Burgess edged Snater behind for 108. Barnard was the final wicket to fall in the Bears' innings for 165, Warwickshire all out for an impressive 397.
The visitors' upper hand in this game continued into the second innings. The Warwickshire bowlers picked up wickets at regular intervals, with young gun Shay Simmons taking an impressive 3 for 12. Only Jordan Cox could pass 25 for Essex, making 47 before he misjudged a reverse sweep and was bowled by Rob Yates. The hosts were bowled out in 51 overs for a below par 162 and still trailing Warwickshire by 235 runs.
Essex had their work cut out to get back into this game, but their fight back got off to the best possible start when Alex Davies edged a Sam Cook delivery to Simon Harmer at second slip. Wickets continued to tumble. Essex spin twins Harmer and Matt Critchley spun webs around the Warwickshire middle and lower order to bowl the away side out for just 94, setting a winning target of 330 in the process and picking up 3 and 4 wickets respectively.
A fighting 60 from Essex opener Dean Elgar helped the hosts overcome some early struggles in the chase. Elgar was joined by Cox and the pair continued to chip away at the target. Cox passed 100 for the second time this season, ending a brief run of 3 matches without getting past 50. The ever-reliable Critchley got his side home with 99 not out, adding to his 4 third innings wickets. A fine fight back from the hosts that will leave Warwickshire scratching their heads in disbelief at how they weren't able to convert a 235-run first innings lead into victory.
A fantastic performance there from Essex, not dissimilar to Surrey's performance, I would say. Surrey 44 for 4, still winning the game. Essex trailed by I think 235. They then bowled Warwickshire out for 94 and showed why they are, alongside Surrey, title favourites.
Yeah, definitely. I think that, like you say, really impressive to see them just dig deep and be put into a pressured situation and still be able to come out on top is seriously impressive. And I think it's a lot down to their bowlers. I'm going to go as far as saying I think Essex have the best bowling attack in the county championship. Taking a look at the leading wicket takers so far in Division 1, 3 of the top 4 wicket takers come from Essex. And I think that, that just shows in their results.
Who are those bowlers then?
You've got Sam Cook, Jamie Porter and Shane Snater.
Yeah.
All seamers as well. But then you've got Critchley and Harmer bowling spin. It's the perfect balance. Yeah,
like you said, really impressive, proper flag in the ground performance from Essex saying, all right, Surrey, we see you. we can do it too.
Yeah, 100%. And Mr. Consistent Matt Critchley.
What a season he's having.
I really like watching him play. And
yeah.
I just, as a captain, you must feel quite confident knowing you've always got him just kind of still just keeping consistent, bowling well, batting well, and a 99 not out to take his side to victory. I feel bad for him. He should have got one more and be able to raise his bat. But
but he'll be happy with the win, won't
definitely.
he? And I think, Matt Critchley so far, strong contender for MVP in the county championship this season.
We've got to give a quick shout out to the Essex media team. They've been on the memes this year. One for Jordan Cox I really enjoyed after his 140 in the first innings.
Yeah.
Him coming out of the dressing room with that meme of the guy coming out of the festival. I love it.
Yeah, what a signing he's been for them, deservedly of the meme of the week.
Definitely.
We go to Taunton next, where Somerset took on Kent. Somerset won the toss and elected to make first use of the wicket. It was a disastrous start for the home side though, as former Kent opener Sean Dixon flashed at this wide one from Bayers Swanepoel without a run on the board. Tom Lammonby continued his impressive start to the season with another half century before he was bowled by Grant Stewart for 69. Tom Banton was joined at the crease by James Rue, and the pair got to work immediately smashing the ball all around the ground. A 205-run fifth wicket partnership saw Banton and Rue both get to hundreds. It was a championship top score for Tom Banton in what was only the second 100 of his first-class career to date. Somerset skipper Lewis Gregory made 77 to push the score past 500. The hosts were eventually bowled out for 554, collecting 5 batting points in the process.
In reply, Kent lost Zach Crawley for a golden duck, closely followed by Daniel Bell-Drummond for 4. Only Joe Denley managed more than a half century for the visitors as wickets fell consistently throughout the innings. Kent were bowled out for 178 and there were 3 wickets apiece for Craig Overton and Miguel Pretorius.
Looking to press home their advantage, Somerset immediately enforced the follow-on. However, this time Kent's innings got off to a much better start. Ben Compton and Zach Crawley put on 194 for the first partnership, before Compton was removed by Matt Renshaw for 65. By this point, Crawley had raced past 100 and had a double century firmly in his sights. Ably supported by 62 from Bell-Drummond, Crawley brought up 200 off just 242 balls. He finally succumbed to the new ball, edging behind for 248 late on day 3. A second 50 of the game from Denley tipped Kent past 550, but they could only muster a victory target of 189 for the hosts.
Dixon fell early again in the final innings, falling to the same combination of Swinnapole and Harry Finch. That was about as close as it got for Kent. Renshaw and Andy Amead calmly accumulated their way to the target. Renshaw finishing 82 not out and Amead 73 not out. An impressive home win for Somerset as a 3-horse race between themselves, Surrey and Essex looks to be emerging for the title. After this fantastic win, we caught up with centurion Tom Banton.
Tom Banton, thanks for joining us, mate. Congratulations on a brilliant 100 and a great win for Somerset in front of a big home crowd at Taunton.
Yeah, thank you for having me, guys. No, it was obviously a good week, a hard few days. It feels like ages ago since we batted on day one. There was times, obviously, when we were fielding when we thought, there's going to be another Nottinghamshire game when obviously Joe Clark and Will Young put on loads of runs, but luckily we managed to get a few wickets, just dig away very slowly. But yeah, we got there in the end, and then it was nice for the boys to knock it off yesterday and for me to not have to bat, which was good. So, yeah.
Talk to me about your 100 then, Tom. Pretty special moment for you. Also batting alongside James Rue, who you've batted with previously when you've both scored centuries. How good was that?
Yeah, it's been annoying. I haven't got there this season. Got close twice, but yeah, I think I've kind of found a little bit of a method with just trying to really put the bowlers under pressure and try and score as often as possible. And fortunately enough for me, it's kind of come off the last few games, which has been good. I'm not really overcomplicating it. I've done a slight a few things with my technique, but apart from that, not too much is going on. But yeah, obviously also you need a bit of luck. Zach Crawley dropped me first ball after tea at Gully, but yeah, no, it was really good, and obviously Rui to get that 100 as well was really good.
I'm interested to know, is there anyone you go to in the Somerset team or coaching staff when you're struggling for form? Is there anyone you go to who's able to give you a bit of advice? Was there anyone you spoke to before the... I know Trescothick was at the game. Is there anyone like that who you've been around who's kind of helped guide you through difficult patches?
I think our batting coach now, Shane Berger, I've built a really good relationship with, and we've become really close. I trust him a lot, not with cricket, with most things now, which is good. And I feel like that's really important for me to have trust in someone, not just with it, like in regards to cricket. I can talk to him about anything. And we've kind of developed a few things that we kind of stick to pre-game, and just things that we try and cover as much as possible. Yeah, but look, I'm not trying to overcomplicate it. Just see the ball and hit it at the moment. So, yeah.
Brilliant. Good advice for any club cricketer watching this playing on Saturday. Keep it simple. Final question for me, Tom. Obviously, Surrey looking in incredible form right now. But you guys, that's a big win for you against Kent. You're also looking really strong. Have you still got hopes of winning the title? You certainly haven't written yourselves off just yet.
Look, obviously Surrey are the Galacticos, we call them, and they seem to have players just sat on the bench who would play in every other team. But yeah, look, we can't do too much about what Surrey are doing. They're obviously a very good team. Everyone knows that. That's why they're back-to-back champions and obviously top of the table again this year. Look, we can take a lot of confidence out of when we played there. We got a really big draw, which is pretty unheard of at the Oval. But yeah, look, they're a great team. Everyone knows that, and obviously we're playing well at the moment. So all what we can do is kind of focus on ourselves and keep winning, I guess, or doing as much as possible to do that. But yeah, look, the season, we're only, I think, 6 games in. There's 8 more games to go, so a lot of things can change in there.
Yeah, a lot of things can change. Just thinking about Zach Crawley getting out first ball and then hitting a double 100. Cricket's a strange old game.
Weird, isn't it?
Tom, thank you so much for joining us. Best of luck for the rest of the season. Right, so a comfortable win there for Somerset, smashing over 550 in the first innings. Great to see Tom Banton and James Rue back in the runs. From a personal perspective, we've met Tom at a few games. He's always been very nice to us, and I picked James Rue as my top run scorer of the season, so I'm glad he's finally got his first 100 of the summer.
And you picked Somerset overall.
I did.
I'll be on the eye out for that.
They look good. And listening to Tom there, he hasn't... Obviously, he plays for Somerset. He's not going to write them off. That was a silly question from my part. Yeah. But actually, it does seem like they've got a lot of confidence. Essex obviously looks strong. Surrey looks strong. But Somerset, you never know. They're always there or thereabouts. Yeah.
So yeah, Somerset win, but I've got to give a shout out to Zach Crawley. From 0 to hero. Golden duck in the first innings and then coming back with 248 in the second innings. And I think there's no better player to watch once he gets going. The way he drives, straight drives, cover drives, can't beat it.
Cricket is a crazy game. To get a golden duck, be asked to follow on and then hit a double hundred.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
And then to lose the game as well.
Game, yeah. Losing cause. Yeah. Kent will be really disappointed, I think. Their first innings being bowled out for a below par score when the opposition have just hit 500 plus. They were never going to win the game from there. And then Somerset pretty much eased to victory. They looked like they were playing in a different league, to be honest. And then you've got Matt Renshaw and Andy Umeed finishing off the game there, looking very comfortable, looking like they could have batted for another couple of days. So a great win for Somerset. I'm not really sure where Kent go from here.
No, it's going to be a difficult one. It does really push Surrey, Essex, Somerset. Those three just feel like they are pulling away slightly.
Yeah, it's a 3-horse race for the title at the moment. You mentioned meme of the week earlier. We've got to mention village moment of the week.
Oh, yeah.
Crawley on 99 gets a double bouncer from Lammonby, hits it towards the boundary, runs one, kind of celebrates but doesn't want to celebrate because it's bounced twice, and then it's called a dead ball.
Yeah, but love to see it. I just Lammonby mind games. I love it.
Yeah, you've got to do that when Crawley's in form. Next up then, it's Derbyshire v Northamptonshire. Both of these sides sitting at the bottom of the county championship. Despite their troubles this season, Northamptonshire have not suffered for runs. Electing to bat first, Ricardo Vasconcelos and Emilio Gay got the Steelbacks off to a really strong start. The pair pushed the opening partnership to one short of 100 until Vasconcelos was trapped LBW by Blair Tickner for 53. A few more wickets soon followed, bringing George Bartlett and Rob Keogh together at the crease. The pair weathered some good Derbyshire bowling to add 124 runs for the fifth wicket. Bartlett then edged behind off Ross Whiteley, 24 runs short of his second championship ton of the season. Keogh had no such problems, guiding one through third man to bring up his 17th 100 of his first-class career. Justin Broad also chipped in with 75 to get Northants to 422 all out.
The home side's response was chiefly led by 76 and 62 from Brooke Guest and Wayne Madsen. Guest was dismissed by Ben Sanderson, the second victim in Sanderson's second 5-wicket haul of the season so far. Northamptonshire would have been hoping to press home their advantage in this game, but further half-centuries from Matt Lamb and the returning Whiteley took the host to 60 runs short of their first innings target. 362 all out from 111 overs.
Northants put the foot down in the third innings, looking to push the game situation into a position where they could put Derbyshire under pressure in the fourth innings. Vasconcelos and Gay continued their first innings form, adding 90 until this bizarre dismissal, Vasconcelos' bat ending up somewhere near deep wind wicket as he was bowled by David Lloyd. Gay continued to sparkle with the bat, reaching his ton in 130 balls and his 150 in 163 balls. A further half-century from Karen Nair allowed Northants to declare on 310 for 3 from just 53 overs.
The spin of Liam Patterson-White and Keogh was causing big issues for the host batters, and Northants were on course for a first win of the season at tea when Derbyshire crumbled to 149 for 7, chasing 371 for victory. The visitors were frustrated by some stubborn batting from Dal and Chappell in the final session. Dal faced 139 balls for his 31 and Chappell 101 balls for 72. Derbyshire eventually held on for the draw, 9 wickets down. The search for victory for both sides continues.
So disappointing for Northants not to get across the line, but fair play, defiant Derbyshire, 9 wickets down. Northants had some ridiculous field settings at the end there.
Yeah, it was really cool to see. 6 slips, a gully, leg slip, short leg, just everyone round the bat.
Like playing backyard cricket, I think.
Yeah, literally, just chuck everyone in. Bit of desperation trying to get that final wicket.
Yeah, they've struggled to take wickets. They definitely haven't struggled to score runs. We've got to talk about Emilio Gay. Continues to impress. 541 runs in 9 innings so far, a staggering average of 67. He's playing an absolute blinder.
Yeah, nothing better again. Classy left-hander, and he's pretty young as well, so he's got a lot of potential. A lot of counties might be even looking, like Division 1 counties might even be thinking about trying to get him in their side.
Yeah, I think there'll be a few circling for him for sure. Obviously, they'll be disappointed that they haven't got victory, but some valuable points for them. Gets them out of the bottom of Division 2. It's not a nice place to be. Bottom of the entire county championship. So I think they move up to 5th. Derbyshire, defiant, get the draw, but they are still rock bottom, searching for a victory.
Yeah, no wins and 5 draws. It's pretty
bleak.
Yeah, it's tough. On a positive note, Zach Chappell coming in at number 9, scoring 70 odd with the bat, and if it wasn't for him, it would have been over very, very quickly.
Yeah, he definitely saved their blushes. Good performance from him.
Yeah, another good performance was from Northants' Rob Keogh. 105 wickets, a good all-round performance.
Decent game for him. Again, he'll be disappointed they didn't win, but 105 you'd take it.
Definitely.
And finally, we head over to watch a Leicestershire side searching for victory after 5 consecutive draws. They took on Gloucestershire in this one. Leicestershire skipper Lewis Hill won the toss and elected to bowl first at the Upton Steel County Ground. Gloucestershire's openers of Ben Charlesworth and Cameron Bancroft made a decision that Hill would rue for some time to come. The pair both made big centuries and combined for 316 runs, their county's record opening wicket stand. The runs didn't stop there for the visitors. 72 from Ollie Price, 92 for James Bracey, 44 not out from Bo Webster and 103 from Graham Van Buren lifted Gloucestershire to a mammoth 706 for 6, the highest first-class team score in their club's history.
Leicestershire's star performer from last season, Rishi Patel, was the mainstay of this innings. The opener didn't seem affected by the 148 overs in the dirt as he hit 17 boundaries on his way to the first century of his season. Gloucestershire's hopes of a sizable first innings lead would have been lifted when Patel was bowled for 117 by a Jaffa from Matt Taylor, with the score at 236 for 6. A defiant 72 from night watchman Scott Curry helped Leicestershire to 371 all out, taking valuable time out the game that looked destined for a Gloucestershire win.
The hosts still had their work cut out in the third innings with a lead of 335. Further runs from Patel as well as half centuries from Hill, Peter Hanscom and Rian Ahmed dampened Gloucestershire's hopes of another championship win. Time was called in the game with Leicestershire 7 down, remarkably the 6th draw of the season in as many games for them. So Lewis Hill would have been delighted that he won the toss. Unfortunately, Gloucestershire hit 706 for 6. Outrageous.
You'd be pretty fuming at your captain, wouldn't you? Be like, why have you done this to us?
Cheers, Nasser Hussain at the Gabba. Yeah, absolute shocker for him and for them. But brilliant from Gloucestershire. 706 for 6. A first century of the season for Ben Charlesworth. He looks like a serious player. Everyone else chipping in. And then you've got Van Buren coming in at 7, I think, hitting 100. So, yeah, a mammoth score for them. But obviously, a pitch has got to be pretty good as well if you're going to hit that many runs and ultimately ending in the draw.
Yeah, a record score for Gloucestershire, their highest first-class score ever. And I still think it's pretty impressive for Leicestershire to hit 371.
Yeah.
Like, it's still decent score.
Definitely, yeah, definitely. 300 in the first innings, 300 in the second innings.
Yeah.
Respectable, and they've earned a hard-fought draw.
Definitely.
Proper county grind stuff. That,
100%.
Having spent, the first innings chasing leather, I still can't get my head around 700 runs. Imagine being in the field for that long.
Be horrible.
Brutal.
Definitely. We've got to give a quick shout out to Rishi Patel as well.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people have backed him, and he looks a really young and promising talent. And for him to get his first century of the season is great after a great season last year. I feel like now, hopefully, he can just kick on from here.
Yeah, speaking of young talent, Ben Charlesworth, first 100 in the comp. He's played 4 games, 400 runs for him, an average of 67. Definitely one to watch for the future.
Yeah, for sure.
So, lots of runs scored in that game, lots of standout performances across the whole championship weekend. I think, fair to say, the most entertaining round yet.
For sure, and I think this is going to be pretty tricky to pick our 3 best players of the round. It's so hard. We've written down some mentions we've got to give out. Tom Helm, Dan Lawrence, Crawley, Ollie Robinson ×2 and Rob Keogh. Yeah. So many players that could be in with the shout.
Definitely. But we've only got to give it to 3 players. The 1 point, I think we're going to give to Matt Critchley.
Yeah, I agree with that. All-round performance, 99 not out to take his side to victory. I think it's great. Yeah,
he's having a great season so far. Pretty sure he's been on this leaderboard before, and it certainly won't be the last time. 2 points, we're going to go for Dan Worrell. Superb performance again. What an amazing summer he's having for Surrey. Yeah,
I think lots of brilliant bowling performances, but I think his 10 wickets across the 2 innings is, really, really impressive.
Yeah, and he got his side back into the game, as he often does. And 3 points, we deliberated about this. We always say we've got to give it to a match winner, and there's one player who really stands out, particularly given it was their first win of the season. Lancashire captain Keaton Jennings, back-to-back hundreds to take them to victory.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough for this round. 3 points goes to him, 115 and 155. Very, very impressive performance.
Yeah, player of the round for him. Well played, Keaton Jennings. Right, there's been a lot of fun. A lot of hard work goes into this show, as you can probably tell, researching the games, watching a lot of county cricket. We hope you guys have enjoyed County Cricket Weekly.
Yeah, make sure you like and subscribe to the Cricket District Network, and we'll see you in the next video.
Cheers, guys.